Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party review. In today's video I'm taking a look at another test shot sample for review. This is the MB-05 Flypro by those guys over at Fans Hobby. This is our third and final monster bot, their interpretation of a masterpiece styled Grotusque. Now I have been super excited about getting this guy, not only because he's based on my favourite of the monster bots, but because we also get a baggie full of accessories to give our other monster bots, including hands, heads, flames and guns. Here he is out of his packaging, and this stout little fellow looks fantastic, doesn't he? What a gorgeous colour scheme. He is a very manly man wearing pink, and just look at the way the light hits those shimmering blue eyes. Whoa, gives you shivers, doesn't it? Really love how he looks. Now, he does share a lot of the similarities with Double Dealer, but they have tweaked an awful lot. So when you have them both transformed up, especially into their beast mode, you can see the vast differences, but you can't really knock them for using some of the same parts. You know, they're basing it on an old toy and they're knocking it into the 21st century, and I'm loving what they're doing. They are by far one of my favourite third-party companies at the moment. They haven't done anything wrong. You know, they improved, they got feedback on their Scourge, they improved on it, and ever since then they just keep on improving. And I mean, look, they've given us a baggie full of things that fans have asked for. There aren't many companies that will do that. They literally listen to their fans. They're active members of the community. They are actually fans themselves, and that really shows through with their toys. Right, first of all, let's take a look at Grotusque's weapons. He's got this nice double rifle there with the standard hand groove that they use, along with companies like Make Toys, just slots into the actual inside of the hand. We get this flame effect, which is a two-part piece, literally just slots inside there. Then you can have this attach inside the monster kind of dragon head. And then a new thing for Fans Hobby are these alternative faces. This one's quite a grimacing face. He's looking rather angry there. And there we have probably an even scarier sight there, where he's actually got a smirk, kind of smiling there. Really like this stern look that he's got going on. Personally, I've never seen a problem with any of the face sculpts. I've always really liked them. Yes, they're not exactly G1 accurate, but then, you know, these guys very rarely cropped up. I think I saw them in one episode, and that was the same episode we had Battle Beasts in. They were in the comics a little bit more, so to give us a masterpiece style toy, I think the designers can take some liberties, and I really like the sculpt which is included. Now, if you decide to change the faces over, there is a screw at the back of the head. We unscrew this screw, the head pulls apart, and the faceplate just pops in. As you can see, it's just on tab here, and it slides in using these pieces. Here, I will change out the faces on the other two monster bots, just so you get an idea of how to do it. Another nice feature that we have with him, we have way more range on these wings now. There, it's just the ability to turn them really does open up a lot more opportunities and gives us some really promising poses as well. It just feels so much more natural now. I'm so glad they did what they did. It's just got that kind of dragon feel to it now. He just looks so menacing, doesn't he? He's so hench. Did you see the Fans Hobby display at TFCon? Man, I really hope they have a display set up at TF Nation, because I really want to see their Godginrai in person, because he looks incredible. The Power Master Prime, oh man. But for now, I mean, look, this guy is a big, hench, stocky bot. He does exactly what he's designed to do, and the paint on him really does just pop. He has a really nice side profile as well. The backpack isn't overly obtrusive there. Yes, it's a big dino kind of beast head hanging down, but there's nothing that's any different to the likes of Grimlock, and I think it's very in keeping with what type of character he's meant to be. And again, the back, very much like the front and the side, a very tidy representation. And here they are all together. And yes, I know I still haven't found this piece. It's at the bottom of a box. Unfortunately, I think the majority of my collection is at the bottom of boxes, but I still have it. They look like some sort of monster transformer version of the Expendables, don't they? I really love just the sheer bulk and size of these guys. I mean, here's Prowl to give you an idea. That is some big bot. Let's have a look at these additional accessories. Oh look, my reflection there. First up for his cosmetic surgery is Repugnus. He does have a bit of a sour trout kind of face going on there. The alternative faces we get, faces? I don't know. Is this kind of almost like a jokery kind of laugh. Still got that very, very pointy, odd nose going on. And again, we get a very kind of, actually I like the smirk. The smirk looks nice there. And we also get a pair of these awesome tinted shades as well to go very nicely with the other two in the series. And I believe these just tab in over the eyepiece. Like so. These are very fiddly and my hands are not the best. But there you go, that's an idea. Is it me or does that look a bit like Gru from Despicable Me? Banana! Yep, there we go, that's the face. Let's just take this one off. Just push on there to pop the face out. Bring the new face in. Right, that was quicker than I thought it was going to be. And then we just pop these two sections back together, then screw it back up. There's his new flashy look. He looks like he's wearing some of those 80 reflective shades, doesn't he? But that's a good look for him nonetheless. Double Cross has always looked a little bit sad, although I really personally love his face sculpt. He looks mean and menacing. His two new faces are kind of a gritty teeth-ish one. I think that's kind of like a whoa, shouting. And then we've got just a scary smile. I do not like that smile. I'm going to go with that one. That's quite intimidating. But we also get an alternative front as well. Or maybe it's a slightly different color. I'm not sure. Let's take it off and take a look. Get your screwdriver or small tool and just poke the visor out from behind. Take the visor off. And I'm not really sure why we get the alternative faceplate. It's a slightly different color helmet. Maybe the color of the helmet didn't quite match the color of the claws, or I'm sure you guys are going to tell me and I'm being completely stupid. Maybe I'm just missing something. But yes, let's put his which face did we decide to go for? We decided to go for the smiling face, didn't we? Let's put his mouth on. Slide his shades in like so. Oh man, look at how cool he looks. Okay, yeah, that was worth changing. Bring in the back of the head and just line that up. Oh, Ben, why did you pick the smiley face, I hear you ask? Because he now has fists and he's very happy about this. Yes, that's right, some of the fans weren't happy that he didn't have fists included, so we actually get a set of fists as well. They're not all singing or dancing, they just have a basic pivot there and an open and close hand with an additional pin through the trigger finger, and they literally just slide into his cannon sections, and just pushing on the back of the elbow we can just put those into place, and there we go. He now has a set of fists. Now, in my personal opinion, you have to kind of bend the double elbow backwards and just have the one elbow on show, otherwise those arms look a little bit long with the fists on, but that's just my opinion. I mean, I personally liked it with just the dragon heads, but I know a lot of fans are going to be happy that he does have those fists. And of course, like the other figures, the weapons are universal, so they can be used with all 3 of your figures. Anyway, enough of those other guys, let's talk about the man with the horrible name, poor old Grotusque. Mind you, Repugnus isn't overly nice, but poor old Grotusque, he's actually the most handsome of the 3 figures. Articulation is brilliant, as per standard. Head up, head down, we can go left, it go right. It is ball mounted, so we can get a bit of quizzical tilting. Shoulders are on a friction joint up and down. My favourite points of articulation, we have a butterfly joint. We don't get a huge range on this particular joint, but it's still additional range nonetheless. It comes in very handy when you're posing him in kind of like a firing pose, because it allows us to bring the arm all the way across the chest. But you can also bring the actual shoulder blades so we can hunch. That's on a really gorgeous ratchet there. We have a pivot going outwards, again on a friction joint. We get an upper bicep rotation. We get a very nice bend at that elbow. Let me just slide the claws backwards. We got a rotation on the wrist. We have the fingers that are pinned, and like the other hands, the trigger finger has a separate joint. The waist has a nice friction joint. The thighs can come this far forwards, this far backwards, out to the side. We have an upper thigh rotation. We have a bend at the knee, which is hindered by this back section. It can be opened to give you a deeper stance, but it does really detract from how good the figure looks. And the feet, we have a forwards and backwards motion. We don't really get any left and right on those feet, but we do get some nice pivoting, and there's a lot of die cast in the feet, which weighs the figure down and helps him keep a sturdy balance. As previously mentioned, we do have a great deal of articulation in these wings, but I'll cover those when we get to his beast mode. Now, height wise, he comes in at a little under 9 inches, that's around 22 centimeters, and weighs in at 627 grams. That's £1 6 ounces. Now, as amazing as he looks in his robot mode, I have to get him transformed up into his monster beast mode as well. So to do that, let's just remove his gun. And the transformation is pretty much what we've come to expect from these Fans Hobby toys. Let's start with undoing the fist, rotating the fist down, spinning it around, and then bringing that back inside that arm, and then bringing this claw to the front. Bring the monster head section up, and I love this. Look, this is kind of spring-loaded. When you move this piece back, the cover comes back up. That is awesome, isn't it? What a great transformation step. Bring the monster head over, and that's just going to tab in to the front. Ah, look at that. Bring his monster hands up and just rotate the entire upper body around. Bend the heel spur down, bend this section up and to the center, and just move the leg slightly out at the hip. Bring the tail section up, and you need to just grab this joint and rotate it around, pull it upwards, and then slot that piece back in. Bend this tail down with this at this diagonal angle, collapse the leg in on itself, And we have this leg out to the side at an angle, so it allows us loads of space for clearance. Close this piece off, lift the thigh tab up, place this section down, and then just close this off. Push down on the upper torso, and that's going to peg in to this crotch section. Just work these rear sections here are going to tab in at the base of the legs, and we can bring the tails together, and again those are just going to nip and tab in together. Come to the beast legs, you want to push this section down to the back. That's now going to form the heel spur, and that is basically our very awesome looking monster bot. We can just have those arms there. You can have the wings however you see fit. I don't really know how I prefer them. I guess I kind of want them full stretch, but kind of down, I guess. It doesn't really matter how you have them. He's going to look incredible no matter what. There is actually a space on the back here for us to bring his weapon in, and that's going to slide in to that groove there. And there he has his big gun on the back. Let's have a look at his articulation. The head can look up and down. It is ball mounted, so we can get some quizzical posing. The jaw can open and close, and he's got some really nice sharp saber teeth. We can also bring in his flame effect, and that just pokes in, and there we go. That is a very nice nod to the original toys that had that kind of spark master thing going on. We still have use of that butterfly joint on the shoulders. We can go forwards and backwards. We've got the bend at the elbow and the rotation there. These claws are individually articulated on ball joints. We can get some twisting and some turning in there. We get up and down motion on the leg. We do get a little bit of outwards motion, but it's designed to be pegged in there. But we do get a ball mount on the kneecaps. We get a nice bend, and we can also get some pivot going on there. And we get an up and down motion on the toes. And again, this is all die cast, so there's a lot of heft there. Then coming around to the wings, they can go up and down, across like this, and there's a hinge here, so they hinge all the way back, and there's another hinge which is a double hinge, so again that can go all the way back. And coming around to the tail, it is static, but doesn't it look lovely? It's a nice little stumpy tail, isn't it? And here they all are with their flames in tow. What a huge nostalgia trip. Now these, they all have the same flat connector. This one just slides into the back of his throat and just stays there. It's a huge gap there, but it fits in snug and it works. And these just fit into those exact same circular tabs that we used for the fists, and again they just work. I would have liked maybe a different flame effect rather than the same one just repeated over and over, but that being said, it's a flame effect nonetheless, and it is a very welcome flame effect at that. If this is your first time seeing the monster bots all lined up, here is Prowl, to give you an idea of scale, and because it's their alt mode, here's Sideswipe as well. As you can see, they are big, hefty bots and worth every penny. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Flypro, aka Grotusque, finishes off our fans hobby monster bots. I still stand by that he's the best of all three. He's just got the best all-round appearance, I think. His bot mode is divine, and his monster mode, well, yeah, I think the name suits him exceptionally well. Once again, I remind you that these are all test shots. When I review a test shot, the final product may differ slightly. The colours may change, as to might the resiliences and the way joints hold together and tab, etc. These are all review samples. They generally send them out, you give them feedback, and then they take it from there. Fans Hobby have been amazing with listening to fans, and I hope they continue to do so, because they really are getting an outstanding name for themselves. Thoroughly looking forward to their God Ginrai, aka Power Master Optimus Prime. He is looking astonishing at present, and again, they're tweaking him and tweaking him and tweaking him, and I'm hoping that he's released by the end of the year. Hope you found this video useful. If you have, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, share and subscribe. I've included a link to the other 2 monster bots here, and until next time, from myself and Flypro, goodbye.